I used to underestimate eggs for a long time. And only recently I started educating myself more and more about health and vitality and spent hours researching this stuff. And in that process I started to realize that eggs are super overpowered. And yet most don't even notice because they still think eggs cause heart disease. But the truth is, if I would label something as superfood now, it would definitely be the chicken egg. And in this video I will tell you why those eggs are extremely based and from an objective standpoint better than every other food. I know this sounds crazy, but we'll look at eggs from many different angles. May it be price, versatility, nutritional value and so much more. What exactly I mean, why it's actually true, and of course then why you might want to consider eating more eggs is what I'm gonna talk about in this video. So how can a single food be better than every other food? Let me explain. Now before we get into the extremely convincing evidence, let me tell you this first. Of course, eggs won't always be better than every other food. Okay, this title and the intro of course is a bit simplified. A balanced diet is key, or at least getting all your nutrients, and what is the best food for you will definitely depend on you as a person, your body, your situation and so much more. Also, if you have certain diseases, moral barriers or something similar, of course eggs will not be the best for you. But for all others, I think eggs are actually better than every other food. Honestly. So now, let me tell you why. The first domination for eggs against pretty much 99% of other foods is when it comes to nutrient density. To me personally, I think the nutrient density, or at least the nutrients in the food, are probably the most important factor in determining how good a food is. Sure, a Sprite tastes good, but the lack of any real nutrients just makes it a bad food in my opinion. But when we look at eggs, the ROI, the return on investment for the calories that you eat is insanely good. But what exactly do I mean? Now it's very simple. One large egg has about 74 calories. What do you get for that? Well, you get about 7 grams of protein, 1 gram of carbohydrates and 5 grams of fat. And that fat? Very healthy fats. Good eggs also contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are very important for good heart health, brain health, aka being in genius mode, and reducing inflammation, aka improving how you deal with infections, injury, all that stuff. So that's for macronutrients. That's already pretty good, but it gets much better when we look at the micronutrients. Because here we have all vitamins, except vitamin C, and all essential minerals.
That's why he's the GOAT!
Sure, not all those micronutrients are available in a large quantity, but also that wouldn't really be possible. And to be more specific, we only have about 3% of the daily magnesium intake, same for potassium and calcium for example. But also you get 10% of iron and vitamin B6, 16% phosphorus, even more vitamin A, 37% of vitamin B12, and more than 50% of the daily intake for biotin, selenium and choline. And all those micronutrients very bioavailable. And on top of all that, it's even rich in antioxidants, namely lutein and zeaxanthin, if I pronounced that correctly, and even contains vitamin D, which you don't find often in food. But all that is just eggs using maybe 1% of their power. It gets even better. Because let's talk about the protein.
I know you love protein, I love protein too.
Told you earlier that we get about 7 grams of protein, maybe 6 grams, and all that for about 70 calories. Now that's not the best out of all foods, fair enough, but definitely better than many other foods. Rice, pasta, veggies, gone.
Reduced to atoms.
And if you would only eat eggs and you need about 2,400 calories per day. So if you're a guy probably somewhat like me, for those calories you would get 240 grams of protein.
That's too easy!
Now of course we won't just eat eggs, but I just wanted to make this point that the content of protein is still not too bad. Screw it, it's pretty good. But also that's just surface level. Because let's look a bit closer at the protein before I then continue to tell you why eggs are also giga beneficial for testosterone. Now, if you're into fitness or you actually paid attention in school, then you know that protein contains amino acids. It's built out of amino acids. And many of those your body can create on its own, but some amino acids you have to eat. 9 to be specific. And guess what? Eggs contain all the 9 essential amino acids, and also in pretty high amounts. Now, other protein sources have that too, but that still makes eggs better than beans, grains, vegetables, and even nuts. Now that's nuts. Wanna know what else is nuts? The biological value of the protein. The biological value, aka BV, describes how efficiently your body uses that protein. So if the biological value is 0, you couldn't make gains even if you eat 1 kilogram of that protein every single day. Now, in reality, a BV of 0 is not really realistic, but while tofu, for example, has a BV of about 70, beef and fish around 75, and eggs? Oh, eggs. Well, that's about 94. Yeah, that's another win for the eggs.
Come on, man!
So to make it more practical, 10 grams of protein from eggs will be used more in your body than 13 grams of tofu. Now that's nothing against tofu specifically, but it's just another egg flex. Sorry vegans. Eggs also beat meat, so don't kill the messenger. Now while we're at it, let's also look at the protein digestibility and the satiety factor. The protein digestibility of eggs is also very good, and the protein plus fat combination that we have in eggs is also very satiating. Just saying.
Here we go again.
Still not convinced? Let's take a look at another huge biological win for eggs, and then I'll also address some more practical points like versatility, price and other things. But what biological win do I mean? I teased it earlier. It's about testosterone. And yep, testosterone levels have been dropping for a long time by now. And to be realistic, it's probably not getting better anytime soon. And if you want to do something against that, if you want healthier hormone levels, maybe you might want to eat more eggs. Why? Because eggs contain many giga-nutrients I already told you about. That zinc content, the omega-3, vitamin D, vitamin B, and the small amounts of magnesium, they all help testosterone production. And generally not being nutrient deficient will very likely also help your testosterone. Also, we have a lot of cholesterol in eggs. And the exact relationship between dietary cholesterol and your testosterone is still not fully understood and needs a bit more research still. But it seems like cholesterol may play a huge role in testosterone production. Cholesterol gets converted into testosterone. And while that does not mean that high dietary cholesterol will lead to high testosterone, try drinking 6 raw eggs before bed and not have a boner when you wake up. That's a very hard challenge. Yeah, literally. Oh, and also multiple studies busted the myth that the cholesterol from eggs will give you heart disease, or even just increase the risk for getting a heart attack. And actually, there is some evidence that suggests that eggs even decrease the risk of heart disease, because it improves the good cholesterol more, and that reduces risk of getting a heart attack. So I'm sorry egg haters, but it's still an old myth that many people still believe in and rather eat McDonald's and cereals instead of healthy whole eggs. Very woke. Now let's get to some more practical things. But I'm gonna keep this quick because you should be kinda convinced that eggs are actually superior by now. Eggs compared to other foods are just like deadlifts compared to other exercises. Just better. Hey, not trying to get political. I just like deadlifts, okay? So let's address the accessibility and versatility of eggs. And you may know this already, but the versatility of eggs is just insane. I think it's probably the most versatile food. You can cook them, you can boil them, you can fry them, poach them, you can even have them raw. And the chance of getting salmonella doing that, by the way, is less than 1 in 20,000. And that's according to the CDC. So I don't know, but doesn't sound too bad for me. And even if you do get salmonella, if you eat raw eggs daily, this shit won't even do anything to you. Not medical advice. I'm just joking, okay? Or am I? And also, let's quickly talk about taste. Now, to be fair, taste is definitely subjective. And admittedly, the taste of raw eggs isn't really great. But if you add just a few other things like banana, milk and some protein powder, it actually turns out to be a pretty good smoothie. I have a video about that recipe. And when you cook it, there are just so many options, and if you put some salt on it, I'm sure you will find some options that taste good for you. Like honestly, just add butter, pepper, salt for sure, and then also some Maggi, and that shit will taste pretty good. Trust me with the Maggi. And I know this feels like kicking someone who's already on the floor, but I have two more points I want to address. The first one is storage. That's just another pro of eggs. They last longer than meat, for example, maybe also some fruits and vegetables, and you don't even have to put them in the fridge. You can just place them in your kitchen anywhere. They're easy to store and you should have enough time to eat them before they ever go bad. And then lastly, just like the final kick of someone who's already down, I'm sorry, I don't want to destroy the other foods too much, but I also just quickly want to address value for money. Now, although prices are rising pretty fast for eggs, especially lately and in the US, the ROI for eggs is still pretty damn good. 10 eggs here in Germany cost like €2.50 for conventional eggs and like €4 for organic pasteurized eggs. But like I said in this video, you get almost all the nutrients your body needs, especially if you eat 10 eggs. And then you would also get 50 grams of fat, again, good fat, that's good for your body, 70 grams of protein and so much more. Now, maybe you're wondering, okay, and should I actually spend more to get the organic eggs? Or does it not really make a difference? That's also something I asked myself for a long time, and I finally did some research without bias and concluded everything you need to know in this video. But with that being said, for this video, that's all I wanted to tell you. It's all I think you should know to accept that eggs are superior. And if you like this video, I would really appreciate a like, because this took some time to research and script and everything. Or leave a comment of your favorite way to eat eggs. For me, it's definitely scrambled eggs because it's the easiest. But of course, what you do now is up to you. Just stay excellent. Excellent, you get it? Have a great day and bye.